They say blood is thicker than water. But nobody tells you what happens when your own blood poisons everything you've built. My brother mortgaged my house without telling me. Took out $280,000 using my name, my signature, my identity. And when I found out, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just walked into that kitchen, looked him straight in the eye, and said something that made everyone in that room freeze. You won't believe what happened next, but before I tell you, hit that subscribe button right now and drop your city name in the comments so we can see just how far this story travels across America. My name is Victoria Chen. I'm 31 years old, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I knew what betrayal felt like. Turns out, I had no idea. Let me take you back to the beginning. Not 3 weeks ago. Further back, way back, to when I was 17 years old, working the night shift at a 24-hour diner in Seattle, slinging hash browns and refilling coffee cups for truckers who tipped in quarters. My younger brother Marcus was 11 then. Cute kid. Big brown eyes. Everyone loved Marcus. Especially our parents. See, Marcus was the miracle baby. Mom had 3 miscarriages before him. When he finally arrived, healthy and screaming, it was like the entire universe shifted to revolve around him. And me? I became invisible. Not in a dramatic way. Nobody was cruel. Nobody was abusive. I just stopped mattering as much. Like I was the rough draft and Marcus was the final copy. When I was 18, I moved out. Got a studio apartment the size of a shoebox in Capitol Hill. Worked 3 jobs. Dinner at night. Retail on weekends. Freelance graphic design whenever I could squeeze it in. Slept maybe 4 hours a night. Lived on instant ramen and tap water. But it was mine. My space. My life. My choice. I put myself through community college. Then transferred to University of Washington. Studied business and finance. Graduated with a 3.8 GPA and $40,000 in student loans. My parents didn't come to my graduation. Marcus had a soccer tournament that day. Travel team. 3 hours away. More important, I texted them a photo of me in my cap and gown. Mom replied 2 days later. Sorry, we missed it, honey. So proud of you. Followed by a heart emoji. Dad never responded at all. But I made it. Got a job at a commercial real estate firm. Entry level. Cold calling. 80 rejection calls a day. But I was good at it. Really good. Within 2 years, I was closing deals. Within 4 years, I was the top salesperson in the Seattle office. Within 6 years, they transferred me to San Francisco to open a new branch. San Francisco. The promised land for ambitious 20-somethings with more hustle than sense. I worked 18-hour days. Lived in a cramped apartment in the Tenderloin that smelled like stale cigarette smoke and broken dreams. But I was making money. Real money. The kind of money that meant I could finally breathe. And that's when I bought the house. Not in San Francisco. God, no. Nobody under 40 can afford property in San Francisco unless they invented an app or inherited a trust fund. I bought it back home in Seattle. You won't believe what happened next, but before I tell you, hit that subscribe button right now and drop your city name in the comments so we can see just how far this story travels across America. My name is Victoria Chen. I'm 31 years old, and until 3 weeks ago, I thought I knew what betrayal felt like. Turns out, I had no idea. Let me take you back to the beginning. Not 3 weeks ago. Further back, way back, but I had a house. A real house. With my name on the deed. Victoria N. Chen. Owner. I kept the house empty. I was still living in San Francisco, after all. Flying back to Seattle every few months to check on it. I hired a property management company to handle maintenance. Paid a gardener to mow the lawn. The house just sat there, waiting for me. Waiting for the day I'd finally slow down enough to actually live in it. Marcus was 24 by then, still living with our parents. A small craftsman bungalow in the Greenwood neighborhood. 2 bedrooms. 1 bathroom. Hardwood floors. A tiny backyard with a cherry tree. It cost me $350,000, and I paid for every single cent in cash. Cash. No mortgage. No loan. No cocinier. Just me, my savings, and 7 years of 80-hour work weeks. I was 28 years old. I had calluses on my fingers from typing. Dark circles under my eyes that no amount of concealer could hide. $3,000 there. Never asked for it back. He was my little brother. That's what family does, right? 3 months ago, I closed the biggest deal of my career. A $50 million commercial development project in downtown San Jose. My commission alone was $270,000. After taxes, I took home about $180,000. I was flying high. Literally. First class from San Jose to Seattle. Champagne at 35,000 feet. My boss had sent a bottle to my seat with a note that said, "You're going to be a partner by 35. Mark my words. I landed at SeaTac at 7:30 on a Thursday evening. October in Seattle. That specific kind of rain that's not quite rain, just thick mist that soaks through everything. I was exhausted. Jet-lagged. Ready to crash in a hotel and sleep for 12 hours. But my phone had other plans. The notification came through as soon as I turned off airplane mode. Email from Pacific Northwest Credit Union. Subject line, mortgage closing confirmation. Property address, 4723 Greenwood Avenue North, Seattle, Washington. That's my house. Loan amount, $280,000. I read it 3 times. Then a 4th. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. I don't have a mortgage. That house is paid off. I have the deed in a safety deposit box at my bank in San Francisco. What the hell is this? I called the credit union. Got some cheerful customer service rep named Brittany who sounded like she was reading from a script. Yes ma'am, we show a mortgage was processed on October 15th. Borrower Name Victoria N. Chen. Co-applicant Marcus Chen. The funds were disbursed on October 17th. Co-applicant Marcus Chen. My stomach dropped. Brittany, I said slowly, I never applied for a mortgage. I never signed anything. This is fraud. There was a pause. Then Brittany, sounding significantly less cheerful. Ma'am, I'm going to transfer you to our fraud department. I spent 45 minutes on hold. Then another 30 minutes explaining the situation to a fraud investigator who asked me the same questions over and over. When did you last access your property? Do you have family members with access to your documents? Have you given anyone power of attorney? No, and absolutely not. The investigator, a man named Tom with the emotional range of a dial tone, told me they'd open an investigation. It could take 4 to 6 weeks. In the meantime, the mortgage was valid. The money had been disbursed. If payments weren't made, the property would go into foreclosure. I hung up, sat in my rental car in the airport parking garage, and I did something I hadn't done in years. I called my mother. She answered on the 4th ring. Victoria. Hi, sweetie. What's up? Mom, I said. My voice was calm, too calm. Did you know Marcus took out a mortgage on my house? Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then, oh, she exhaled. He told you. He didn't tell me anything. The bank told me. Mom, what the hell is going on? Another pause. Sweetie, Marcus needed help. He has this incredible opportunity. A business venture. He just needed some startup capital. So, he stole my house? He didn't steal it. She sounded defensive now. He used it as collateral. It's a loan, Victoria. He's going to pay it back. I closed my eyes, pressed my palm against my forehead. Mom, he forged my signature. That's identity theft. That's fraud. That's illegal. Don't be so dramatic. It's family. We help each other. I help him. All the time. But this is different. Just come to the house, she said. Let's talk about this in person. Everyone's here. Everyone. Of course everyone was there. This was planned. This was an ambush. I drove to my parents' house in Ballard. The same house I grew up in. Zamebeigesiding. Same crooked mailbox Dad never fixes. Same driveway where I learned to ride a bike while Marcus watched from the window because he was too young to play outside. The lights were on. I could see them through the kitchen window. Mom, Dad, and Marcus, all sitting around the table like this was a normal Thursday night. Like they hadn't just committed a federal crime. I didn't knock. Just walked in. The door was unlocked. It always was. They looked up when I entered. Not surprised. Not guilty. Just waiting. Victoria, Dad said. He looked older than I remembered. Grayer. Tired. Sit down. Let's talk. I stayed standing. Arms crossed. Voice steady. Somebody want to tell me how Marcus got access to my documents? Marcus shifted in his seat. He was wearing a Seahawks hoodie I'd bought him for his birthday 2 years ago. He wouldn't look at me. Just stared at his hands. Mom cleared her throat. You left some paperwork here. Last Christmas, when you stayed over. We thought you wouldn't mind. Paperwork. They meant my passport. I'd left it in the guest room by accident. Came back for it 3 days later. But apparently, not before they'd made copies. You used my passport to forge a mortgage application, I said. That's not borrowing paperwork, Mom. That's identity theft. We didn't think you'd care, Marcus said quietly. You don't even live in that house. I don't care? I bought that house with 7 years of my life. 7 years of sleeping 4 hours a night and eating vending machine dinners and missing every birthday and holiday because I was working. That house is the only thing I've ever owned that's completely mine. And you took it. Marcus finally looked up at me. His eyes were red, like he'd been crying, or maybe like he hadn't slept. Vic, I'm sorry. I really am. But I have this opportunity. This business idea. It's going to change everything. I just needed seed money. What business? He hesitated. Then, esports coaching. I'm going to train professional gamers. There's a huge market. I've done all the research. I just needed capital for equipment, office space, a website, marketing. You needed $280,000 for that? It's expensive to start a business. I stared at him. At this 24-year-old kid who'd never held a job for more than 6 months. Who'd never paid rent. Who'd never had to choose between groceries and electricity. And he was going to train professional gamers. Marcus, I said slowly, you've never run a business. You've never trained anyone. You can barely keep a houseplant alive. What makes you think this is going to work? He bristled. You don't believe in me. Nobody ever believes in me. I believe in facts. And the fact is, you stole my house. Dad stood up. Enough. Both of you. Victoria, this is still family. We don't talk to each other like this. No, I said. Family doesn't steal from each other. Family doesn't forge signatures. Family doesn't commit fraud and then act like the victim when they get caught. You're being selfish, Mom said. Her voice had that edge to it. That tone she used when I was a kid and didn't want to share my toys with Marcus. You have so much. A great job. No kids. No responsibilities. Marcus is just trying to build something for himself. Selfish. She called me selfish. I'd sent Marcus over $20,000 in the last 3 years. Paid for his car insurance, his coding boot camp, his failed sneaker business. And I was selfish. Something inside me snapped. Not in a loud way. In a quiet, cold, final way. I pulled out my phone, opened my email, forwarded the mortgage confirmation to myself. Then I looked at my family, all 3 of them, sitting there, waiting for me to roll over and accept this, like I always had. And I said the words that made them freeze. I already called the police. They're opening a fraud investigation. I also contacted my lawyer. She's filing a civil suit tomorrow for fraud, identity theft, and emotional distress. You have 48 hours to return every cent of that money, or I'm pressing full criminal charges. The room went silent. Dead silent. Mum's face went pale. What? You heard me. 48 hours. Every cent. Victoria, you can't be serious. Dad's voice cracked. We're family. You're criminals. And if you don't fix this, you're going to be criminals with a record. Marcus stood up. His chair scraped against the floor. Vic, come on. I can't pay that back in 48 hours. I've already spent some of it. How much? He'll look down. 40,000, maybe 45. On what? Equipment. Computers. High-end gaming chairs. Streaming gear. Deposits on office space. So, you spent my money on office furniture while my house is collateral for a loan I never agreed to. I'll pay you back. I swear. With what money, Marcus? You don't have a job. You don't have income. You don't have anything except my $280,000. Mom started crying. Loud, dramatic sobs. Victoria, please. You're tearing this family apart. I tore it apart? I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman who'd raised me. Who'd taught me to ride a bike and braid my hair and make lasagna from scratch. And I realized something. She'd never really seen me, not as a person, just as a resource. A backup plan. The responsible one who'd always bail everyone out. I'm done, I said quietly. I'm done being the ATM. I'm done being the safety net. I'm done sacrificing everything so Marcus can play entrepreneur with my money. I'm done. I turned and walked out, got in my rental car, drove away. My hands were shaking again. But this time, it wasn't fear. It wasn't shock. It was rage. Pure, crystalline rage. I checked into a hotel downtown. Called my lawyer from the room. Her name was Angela Rodriguez, a fierce woman in her 40s who specialized in family law and fraud cases. I'd met her at a networking event 2 years ago. We'd stayed in touch. Angela, I need help. I told her everything. She listened. Didn't interrupt. When I finished, she said, we can bury them. This is textbook fraud. Identity theft. Forgery. I can file criminal charges and a civil suit. We'll get your house back and make sure they never do this to anyone again. How long will it take? Depends on how cooperative they are. If they return the money voluntarily, we can resolve this quietly. If they fight, it could take months, maybe a year. They won't return it voluntarily. They don't think they did anything wrong. Angela was quiet for a moment. Then, Victoria, I need to ask you something. Are you ready for this? Because once we start, there's no going back. This will destroy your relationship with your family, possibly forever. I thought about that. Really thought about it. About Christmas dinners that would never happen again. About birthdays I wouldn't be invited to. About a future where my parents grew old and I wasn't there. About Marcus, my little brother, the kid I used to read bedtime stories to, facing criminal charges because of me. And then I thought about my house. My 7 years of work. My name forged on documents I never signed. My identity stolen by people who were supposed to protect me. I'm ready, I told Angela. Do it. She filed the paperwork the next morning. Criminal complaint for identity theft and fraud. Civil lawsuit for damages, including the full loan amount plus legal fees, emotional distress, and punitive damages. The total came to $460,000. The police showed up at my parents' house that afternoon. Took statements. Collected evidence. Seized Marcus's laptop and phone. By evening, the story was all over our family. Cousins calling. Aunts texting. Everyone wanting to know what was happening. Why was I doing this? How could I destroy the family over money? Over money. Like that's all this was. My Uncle Jeff called me. Vic, come on. This is crazy. Marcus made a mistake. You're going to send your own brother to jail? He committed a felony, Uncle Jeff. Multiple felonies, actually. But he's family. So am I. And he stole from me. Why doesn't that matter? He didn't answer. Just hung up. My cousin Sarah texted. You're being vindictive. This is cruel. I didn't respond. My grandmother, Dad's mother, left me a voicemail. Her voice shaking with age and anger. Victoria Chen, I am ashamed of you. Your grandfather would be ashamed. Family forgives. Family helps each other. You are breaking your mother's heart. I saved the voicemail. Added it to the evidence file. The 48-hour deadline came and went. No payment. No apology. Just silence. So Angela moved forward. Full prosecution. The district attorney's office agreed to take the case. Identity theft is a serious crime in Washington state. If convicted, Marcus could face up to 10 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. My parents could be charged as accessories. The arraignment was scheduled for 2 weeks later. King County Superior Court. I didn't go. Couldn't stomach it. But Angela sent me updates. Marcus pled not guilty. Claimed I'd given him verbal permission to use the house as collateral. Said it was a family loan, not fraud. The judge wasn't buying it. Set bail at $50,000. My parents paid it. Wiped out their savings. The civil case moved faster. Angela filed for an emergency injunction to freeze the mortgage. The judge granted it. Ordered Marcus to return all remaining funds immediately. He couldn't. He'd spent $68,000 by then. Office space. Equipment. Marketing. A custom-designed website that cost $12,000 and looked like it was made by a high schooler. The judge ordered the equipment seized and sold. Gaming chairs. Computers. Monitors. Streaming gear. All of it auctioned off. Brought in $22,000. Still left a massive gap. So Angela went after wages. Filed for garnishment. But Marcus didn't have wages. He didn't have a job. So she went after my parents instead. 50% of my father's paycheck. 50% of my mother's pension. Every month. Until the debt was paid. At their current rate, it would take 11 years. My mother called me. I let it go to voicemail. Victoria, please, we're living on pennies. Your father had to sell his truck. I can't afford my medication. Please, baby, please stop this. I listened to it once. Deleted it. Blocked her number. My father sent an email. No subject line. Just 3 words. You've won. Happy? I wasn't happy. I was empty. Hollow. Like someone had scooped out everything inside me and left just the shell. But I didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Because if I stopped, what did that say? That they could steal from me and I'd just take it? That family meant I had to sacrifice everything, even my dignity, even my safety, even my future? No. I'd rather be alone than be a doormat. The criminal trial took 6 months. I had to testify. Had to sit in that courtroom and watch Marcus in an ill-fitting suit, looking young and scared and so sorry. He cried on the stand. Said he never meant to hurt me. Said he thought I wouldn't mind. Said he was just trying to build something, to make something of himself, to prove he wasn't a failure. The jury didn't care. Guilty on all counts. Identity theft. Fraud. Forgery. The judge sentenced him to 3 years in prison. Suspended to 18 months with good behavior. Plus 5 years probation. Plus full restitution, which he'd already been ordered to pay in the civil case. My parents sobbed. My father had to be escorted out of the courtroom. My mother looked at me across that space, her face twisted with grief and rage, and mouthed, "I will never forgive you." I mouthed back, "I don't need you to." Marcus went to prison. Minimum security facility in Shelton, about 2 hours from Seattle. I didn't visit. Didn't write. Didn't send money to his commissary account, though I heard from a cousin that other family members did. I sold the house. Couldn't live there anymore. Too many bad memories. Too much pain. Sold it for $410,000. After paying off the fraudulent mortgage and legal fees, I netted about $90,000. Put it all in a retirement account. Locked it away where nobody could touch it. I moved back to San Francisco. Got promoted to senior vice president. Corner office. My name on the door. Salary in the mid-6 figures. I bought a condo in Pacific Heights. 1 bedroom. Floor-to-ceiling windows. View of the Golden Gate Bridge. Everything sleek and modern and mine. I started therapy. Turns out, having your family betray you leaves scars. My therapist, Dr. Brennan, was patient. Kind. She helped me understand that I wasn't wrong for protecting myself. That boundaries aren't cruel. That forgiveness isn't mandatory. I cut off everyone who sided with Marcus. Cousins. Aunts. Uncles. My grandmother. If they couldn't understand why I did what I did, then they weren't my people. I built a new life. Made new friends. People who respected boundaries. Who showed up when they said they would. Who didn't see me as a bank account with legs. Marcus got out after 14 months. Good behavior. I heard through the grapevine that he moved to Portland. Got a job in customer service. Makes $35,000 a year. Still pays me restitution. $150 a month. At that rate, he'll be paying me until he's 67 years old. My parents are still in Seattle. Still struggling. Dad drives for Lyft on weekends. Mom works part-time at a grocery store. They're both in their late 60s. Should be retired. Should be comfortable. But they chose Marcus. And choices have consequences. I haven't spoken to any of them in 3 years. Don't plan to. People ask me sometimes if I regret it. If I miss them. If I wish I'd handled things differently. And the answer is no. Not even a little bit. Because here's what I learned. Family is supposed to protect you. Support you. Celebrate you. And when they don't, when they see you as a resource instead of a person, you have every right to walk away. I spent 31 years trying to earn their love. Trying to be good enough. Successful enough. Generous enough. And it was never enough. Because the problem wasn't me. It was them. They decided a long time ago that Marcus mattered more. That his dreams were more important than my reality. That his comfort was worth more than my security. And once I accepted that, once I really understood that I would never be their priority, the choice became easy. Protect Marcus, or protect myself. And for the first time in my life, I chose me. 3 years later, I'm 34. I have a career I'm proud of. A home I love. Friends who actually care. A therapist who keeps me grounded. A life that's entirely, completely, beautifully mine. And you know what? I'm happy. Really, genuinely happy. Not the fake happiness you plaster on for family photos. Real happiness. The kind that comes from living authentically. From setting boundaries. From refusing to shrink yourself to make other people comfortable. Last month, I got a LinkedIn message. Marcus. His profile showed he'd changed jobs. Was working as a sales associate at a tech startup. His message said, "Hey Vic. I know we haven't talked. I just wanted you to know I'm sober now. Got help. Therapy. AA. I'm working on myself. I understand why you did what you did. I don't expect you to forgive me. Just wanted you to know I'm sorry. For everything. I read it. Reread it. Sat with it for a long time. And then I closed the message. Didn't reply. Because an apology, even a sincere one, doesn't undo the damage. Doesn't give me back those years. Doesn't erase the betrayal. Maybe someday I'll respond. Maybe in 10 years or 20 or never. But right now, I'm good. I'm whole. I'm exactly where I need to be. And that's the real revenge. Not the lawsuit. Not the prison sentence. Not the garnished wages. The real revenge is being completely, utterly okay without them. The real revenge is building a life so full and so good that their absence doesn't leave a hole. Because at the end of the day, the best revenge isn't destruction. It's happiness. It's success. It's peace. It's looking at your life and thinking, yeah, I did this. I built this. And nobody can take it from me. That's what I tell people now when they ask why I did it. Why I pressed charges. Why I sued my own family. Why I walked away and never looked back. I tell them it's because I finally understood something my parents never taught me. That you can't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. That loyalty is a two-way street. That family is supposed to be your safe place, not your prison. And if your family can't be that, if they take and take and take and then call you selfish when you finally say no, then they're not your family. They're just people you share DNA with. And DNA isn't destiny. You get to choose who belongs in your life. You get to set boundaries. You get to protect your peace. You get to say, enough. No more. And when you do, when you finally stand up for yourself after years of shrinking down, some people will call you cruel, vindictive, cold-hearted. Let them. Their opinion stopped mattering the moment they decided you didn't. So, if you're listening to this and you've got a Marcus in your life, someone who takes and never gives back, someone who sees your kindness as weakness, let me tell you something. You're allowed to protect yourself. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to choose peace over people who drain you. And if that makes you the villain in their story, fine. Be the villain. Villains get to live their lives. Villains get to keep their houses. Villains get to sleep at night knowing nobody's stealing from them. I'd rather be a villain in their story than a victim in mine. And honestly, I've never been happier. If this story hit home for you, if you've been there or you're there now, drop a comment. Tell me your city. Tell me your story. Let's build a community of people who chose themselves. Who set boundaries. Who refused to be anyone's backup plan. Because that's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away from people who will never love you back the way you deserve. And that's okay. It's more than okay. It's necessary. It's survival. It's self-respect. Choose yourself. Every time. Without apology. Without guilt. Without looking back. You deserve that. You deserve so much more than people who only call when they need something. Who only show up when it benefits them. Who only see you as a solution to their problems instead of a person with your own. You deserve a life that's yours. Fully, completely, unapologetically yours. So take it. Build it. Protect it. And let anyone who can't respect that fall away. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person who's going to be there for every single moment of your life. Make sure you're on your own side. Make sure you're your own biggest advocate. Make sure you're fighting for yourself as hard as you fought for everyone else. That's the lesson. That's the story. That's the truth. And I hope it helps someone out there who needs to hear it. Who needs permission to protect themselves. Who needs to know that walking away doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a smart one. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for being part of this community. And remember, you're not alone. Not even close.